Hey everyone, it's Brendan with Blue Tiger Wellness. Thanks for joining me. I wanted to show you just a simple little technique that I've learned. It's a good way to wake up in the morning, and it's a breathing exercise and a couple simple movements with your arms and shoulders that can really go a long way with helping you start your day in a more relaxed state and having you kind of open up your body to those channels that kind of bring the essence of life into you. A lot of times when we're sleeping, we go through in and out of states of consciousness, depending on the level of how deep, I guess you could say, we sleep. And there's really only a certain amount of time in which our body gets to say, okay, and process that. And so we really, I think, need to come from a state of being relaxed when we start our day. And a lot of times people are just waking up and going right at it, crawling out of bed, and going in. Some people work out and some people run, or they do yoga right in the morning, which is great. But I think most of the population is really just rolling out of bed, taking a shower, shaving, brushing their teeth. And not to say that those things aren't important either, but I do think there should be getting in touch with yourself to start the day, and really starting to kind of become aware of where you're putting your energy. And so I think these exercises really help with that. And this is called Kum Nye, and what Kum Nye means is just body massage, but really it's about embodying the spirit of being able to live a joyous life and to utilize the breath to kind of massage your body, your tissues, your organs, the holistic picture of yourself, and just being able to just be. And really what we do in Kum Nye is we practice on breath, and a lot of that is simple in nature, but sometimes there are more advanced exercises, but this is just simple techniques to start the day. And this will only take a couple minutes here. But what I'll do is I'll explain each step so that you kind of know what each step is. And in Kum Nye, there's also some kind of crossovers into where you should position your tongue while you do this. And so for these exercises, what you really want to do is just kind of focus on having your tongue in a neutral position. And I did want to talk about breathing before we jump in here, because it's important. What you want to focus on is breathing in the nose and out the mouth. When you breathe just in your nose and exhale out of your nose, you're focusing on giving breath to the mind itself alone. When you're doing just through the mouth and out the mouth, that is for your body, that's to nourish your body. What you want to do is in these exercises is breathe as much as you can through your nose and your mouth. If it's impossible to do both, that's okay. For right now, we can work up to getting to a point where you can do that comfortably. But what you really want to do is kind of open up and have your tongue in a neutral position so that you can let the airways open up from your nose and your mouth to be able to let air in and out of both at the same time. So without further ado, in a nice relaxed sitting, and sometimes people would want to do it on their beds, but some people like to get on a cushion. Right now in this example, I have two rolled up towels beneath my bottom, and I'm sitting in kind of half lotus posture, and full lotus posture is with both knees kind of up. I'm working towards that in my practice. But what you want to do is kind of have a neutral position. You want to make sure your head isn't too far forward or back. You want your spine to be as straight as possible. You want kind of your you want your pelvic floor to be a little bit higher, a little bit elevated than your knees, where your knees hit the ground. That's going to kind of make you or allow you to fully relax. And I recommend sometimes, if some people have what are called zafus or cushions to put underneath, those are fantastic. I didn't bring mine with me for this video, but you want to have kind of as neutral of a for your tongue position. You want to have a neutral position, you know, not completely up to the roof of your mouth, but not completely down into your kind of the bottom of your mouth. And so I want you to just kind of take some nice deep breaths in. First, we'll do a series of through the nose alone and out the nose as well. And in terms of your eyes being closed or open, I just ask that you just look neutral. You don't have your eyes closed or open, but when you're awake, when you're first getting awake, you really want to more focus on an inner checking in with yourself and your own energy. Breathing in your nose and out your nose. Not really realizing if you're doing it fully or not, just whatever feels comfortable. Placing your arms, feeling your arms relax. Letting go of all the thoughts of what you need to do next. Just focusing on your breath, even breaths in and out your nose, and out your nose. Feeling how deep the breath goes down into your diaphragm and down into your stomach. And when you do this for about 7 or 8 times, you'll start to breathe just through your mouth and just out of your mouth. Letting your whole body fill with the air, the oxygen that your body needs. Letting it circulate through your energy channels. And then you'll do, after about 7 or 8 times through the nose and mouth, you'll start to breathe in your nose and out of your mouth, and then do that about 7 or 8 times. If you start to feel any sort of areas of discomfort, we don't, in Kum Nye, we don't push that away. We're actually, if anything, wanting to explore that and create the space so that we can explore what that is. That's very, in other sorts of practices, we start to realize where those come from and what patterns our body and our mind and our body connection creates that discomfort, and we explore that. But I just want you in this point to just focus on the breath. And then do the opposite, in the mouth and out the nose. And about after 7 or 8 times, we will start to practice what we were attempting to get to, which was through the nose and mouth at the same time, and out of the nose and mouth at the same time. Sometimes you'll feel that your body is doing one first, then the other, and then the other second, and that's okay. Should be an equal amount of air going in your nose and out your, in your nose and mouth, and then out your nose and mouth equally. That's kind of more of a balanced approach, but whichever way your body is doing it, whenever you are doing this, is okay. And after we do that about 7 or 8 times, we're going to start to incorporate in the nose and out the nose, or in the nose and mouth and out of the nose and mouth at the same time, with incorporating arm raises to about 90 degrees. So you'll start in, nice deep breaths through the nose and mouth as you raise. And out the nose and mouth. And after 7, 8, or 8 times, the next one is doing shoulder rotations at the same time. And after you feel like you've started, you sometimes feel a lot of like clicking or realizing that there's some tension in these areas. Work through that with your breath and just be aware of it. Don't do anything with it. I always tell clients, when you realize, when you come to a level of awareness in your body, the best thing to do is to start with awareness and really getting to explore that instead of just pushing it aside, because really sometimes what we do in the West, and I think just with humans in general, we realize something and we go, what is that? Or oh no, I have to do something with it, or I gotta talk to a specialist about it. I think sometimes that's okay, but when it becomes excessive and when it becomes worry, that's really what we got to watch out for. Are we making a decision after we've had a very basic awareness or understanding of what is going on in our bodies? Really what the breath is meant to do is to nourish our bodies, and when we start going from awareness to based on assumption or based on what we think in that moment, we're stopping that breathing process, and therefore we're stopping that nourishment process. And really what I want to encourage you to do is to allow yourself to just be in that moment. And really, we're not focusing on the future, which can sometimes create anxiety, or the past, which can create more of a depressive worry, or more of a depression state. And really what you want to do is just become aware of it, and you don't have to take note of it at the time. You can let those thoughts come and go as they will, and trust me, more thoughts will come in its place. But really in Kum Nye, we're focusing on breathing and just being aware, and that is really it. And those realizations that you want to come to, or start to become accustomed to, and conditioning yourself, is really second nature when you're more focused on it being in the moment. And after you've done the shoulder rotations, we're going to focus on the last part, which is just moving your head, your ear towards your shoulder. We're in a relaxed. We're still straight in the the posture is trying to be really straight in nature and be aligned and neutral. And we're just gonna continue to breathe in the nose and out the nose, and out of the nose and out of the mouth as we go to the sides. Letting your breath come all the way down to your base chakras. These are the ones that really, for me, I start to realize there's a lot of clicking going on. I think for me, since I sleep on my side, I get really crunched up and kind of hunched in a side position. And I think for me, when I do these exercises, I'm really feeling the noxious gaseous bubbles in my musculature kind of release and let go. So doing this is just really awesome. And so after you've done the sides and you feel warmed up, you're going to kind of go side to side, continuing to breathe in the nose and out the nose and mouth. And going slow. We're not rushing. We're really just aware of nourishing our bodies at this moment. I also wanted to let you know, after a while, if you're sitting in this posture or in a certain posture for a while, you might realize your legs become numb in a sense. Mine do pretty fairly easily. If you do start to get numb or start feeling tingling, you can always extend your legs out as comfortably as possible and continue, or you can go on a chair and make sure your back is to the back of the chair with your feet flat on the ground, and you can continue these exercises. But really, these are just the basic techniques that I follow when I wake up before I start my day, and they really help me come from a place of being centered and balanced, instead of just getting up in the morning and rushing to your appointment, or doing that is, I think, okay, but when we start doing that in a repeatable pattern process, we stop coming from our center or our core being and our hearts, and this helps you to become more nourished in your own body, and you get to help yourself. I'm Brendan with Blue Tiger Wellness. Thanks for this time you spent with me. I hope this helps. If you have more questions about what Kum Nye is, please contact me. I'm more than willing to share my resources and wealth with you and my health. There is a retreat. It's the Blue Tiger Wellness Retreat coming up this late spring, early summer. I will be doing a class about Kum Nye and integrating that with your daily life, as well as basic Tibetan cosmology packages, which will enrich your life immensely. And then I'll also be teaching foam rolling, which is another very important part of your wellness retreat. You'll be getting an actual foam roller and a lacrosse ball, which is amazing for you to be able to take home with you. And another thing, the wellness retreat, you will have to bear with me. I'm not sure where it is just quite yet. I'm waiting to see how many people have signed up for it. But the early bird discount special is $1,500 off, which is amazing. Until April 1st, the cost is $3,500. It'll include a 3-night stay in Wine Country, California, which is just a beautiful place. And if you haven't been here, you should definitely come and try it out. We will incorporate in those 3 days learning and being able to kind of explore your body and being able to integrate that with your daily lives. And with the cosmology, you'll be able to tell what personalities you have and what kind of karmic patterns that you have tendencies towards. And then we can gear the Kum Nye practices and the foam rolling practices into a plan that works for you so that you could become your best enlightened version of yourself eventually, which is down the road. But in Tibetan Bon, Kum Nye is an important part of becoming aware of our being, and so we thought to offer this to the general public for a discount until April 1st. After that, it is full price. The food will be included, so the food will be catered, which will be nice, and you'll be able to kind of explore just every depth in being part of yourself that you haven't been able to do otherwise, which is really exciting. And I hope that excitement comes through. And I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please contact me with any questions. I hope this video helped, and stay tuned in another video, which I will be actually showing you some hand exercises for each type of linked emotion that each finger has, that you can help yourself with. Thanks again.